Medical and natural sciences using forestry.
So you have completed training on entrepreneurial awareness program conducted by the National Institute of Focus Skill.
Yes.
And sericulture technology.
Yes.
How you were interested in sericulture and forestry? They were rare kind of degree.
Yes. Actually, I did my graduation from APSC Forestry. And sericulture, we were just given for more experience purpose. So, yeah. Oh, like 7 years now. Can you be a bit loud?
You are not audible. Clear.
Sericulture was just for training purpose. It was conducted for only 7 days.
Okay.
Yes. Technology orientation program.
Now you have opted for civil service.
Yes, sir.
How can you integrate or relate this sericulture knowledge or your knowledge on forestry, which your service if you are selected?
In BSc Forestry, there are various other subjects too, sir, apart from wildlife and forest related. We have also been taught about extension education, community forest plantations. Apart from that, we have interaction with the villagers. Because even in the forestry jobs, we talk about the Indian Forest Service. We have this one, the DFO who are handling the engineering skills and all. So through this knowledge, I will be able to execute in the civil services.
So when you are a man of forestry, so you are concerned about environment also.
Yes.
So how is this industrialization and environment can go together? We are concerned about environment, okay? And because of rapid growth of industry, is damaged the environment.
Yes.
So how can you go together? You have to set up industry and you have to protect environment. What's your opinion about it? We are just arranging so many seminars and all, publicity, many other incentives for growth of industry. When we're inviting different industrialists, industry houses to come and invest in Assam. So present environment of Assam, the already environment is damaged. No?
Yes.
So how more and more industry can damage more environment?
So according to me, like we have to promote industries as well, so for the growth and development of the state. So in that case, what we can do is that we have to make proper plans. We have to strictly follow the EIA, environmental impact assessment guidelines. Apart from that, I think when we talk about in the hilly areas, we have to take the knowledge of the local community as well, so that local knowledge and then scientific knowledge can go hand in hand. It can mitigate the disasters in case there occurs any disaster in the future.
Do you see any connection, Edwin, with the development and the recent disaster of the Mahasam because of flood?
Yes, sir. Dima also, when we talk about the soil profile, it is still fragile. So when without proper planning, development has been carried out. Like when we talk about railway tracks, earlier it was 2017 it was widened into broad gauge railway line. So in my opinion, that is one reason why Dima also has been facing this disaster.
That was also important because of connectivity. If you do not apply broad gauge railway facilities, but the people were also not able to get connected. The connectivity issue was very high at that time, and people were even protesting that it was taking so much of time to
Complete
Yes.
for the broad gauge railway to be upgraded, right? Because it was due pending since I think 1997 or so.
Yes.
It took so many years.
Yes.
So what went wrong according to you? And if you now would have been posted as a deputy commissioner of that particular district, what will be your steps? Keeping in mind this EIA or the sustainable development goals.
In my opinion, another reason is deforestation. So due to deforestation, rainwater has not been able to control. So I think that is also one reason. So in that case, what I can do is that we will have to plant more trees on the nearby railway lines, even in the upper reaches of the forest.
Okay. What was your optional level? Geography. What do you understand by social forestry?
Social forestry is defined as forest by the people, for the people, for the people. So in this type of forest, it is
Okay, you are student from forestry, so you should be knowing what is social forestry. Is government taking any steps to promote social forestry as of now?
yes, sir. There has been projects or schemes like joint forest management.
Where the people are also coming together to protect the wildlife.
Apart from that, industrial plantations are there. The government has been focusing on planting more trees nearby the forest, adjacent areas.
Okay. So, like if we talk about forestry and wildlife, since it was a subject that you have studied, so how do you think our laws in the field of wildlife protection have been successful to protect our wildlife? Can you also specify some laws?
According to the Indian Forest Act 1927, I'm to be specific about bamboo species. So earlier it was bamboo was regarded as tree species. Then felling of the bamboo was illegal. So in 2017, the government has amended Indian Forest Act 1927. So bamboo, though scientifically is a grass, and then, it has been removed from the definition of trees.
Okay.
So felling of bamboo, even outside the forest area, is not illegal anymore.
So how will it help in uplifting the local people?
Yes. In the rural areas, maximum of the people they depend their livelihood on the cultivation of bamboos. So now in the present case, they won't have to face this illegal issues regarding felling of numbers of 7 members in the nearby towns or cities. So in that
So
way,
they can become economically independent
yes,
without doing any illegal activities.
yes.
Okay. So your subject was geography. Why did you select geography, and why didn't you select any other subject? Because you don't have any background of studying geography. What do you?
One reason is that my graduation subject is not optional subject.
Okay.
Then after studying the syllabus for I found that there is similarities between geography and forestry as well.
Okay, so this year you can see that there are heavy amount of rainfall
Yes.
even before the monsoon has touched different parts of the country. So what do you think is the reason for, and do you see any connection with the South Pacific Ocean oscillation? That is your El Nino or La Nina?
So,
Because this year it is being said as to be a La Nina year for India. So how does it affect? What happens in a La Nina year? Can you also tell me the pressure conditions in the Indian Ocean in a La Nina year? This is a geography optional question. Okay. Because there will be intensification of high pressure in the Indian Ocean,
yes.
and more winds will be coming towards India, which will carry more and more moisture. So there will be heavy amount of rainfall. So that will create more and more flood, right? But it can also act as a boosting up factor for the agriculture productivity in many places if properly the water is being harnessed and used. Okay. Who is your favorite Indian geographer? Okay. No issues. Can you tell me some earthquake pattern of Assam? Recently, there was a news where there have been some identification of fault lines in Arunachal Assam border. And that is talking about a pattern, since Northeast also comes under your seismic zone, right, of the intercontinental convergence of the plate tectonics. So, do you know about that news?
No, sir, I'm not sure.
Okay. So if you're posted as a district of magistrate, a flood affected district, what are the solutions or the first steps that you're going to take?
So the first step will be mobilization of affected people. That would be my first.
So it is like after the disaster or before the disaster?
Of course, before the disaster, we should make aware of the
So what does your NDMA guidelines say? National Disaster Management Act is an act, right?
yes.
So how to act during disaster, pre-disaster, or after disaster? What does it say about it?
So as far as my knowledge, pre-disaster we are already with mitigation measures.
Think from your perspective. There is flood in your district. You need to save the lives of the people and mitigate the economic losses also at the same time.
Yes.
So let me give you a situation. For example, there is flood and there are 4 people drowning. And you are the only one present there, and you can save only one person's life. Okay, and the nearest person is a person who is your biggest enemy. Okay, that person has destroyed your life and your family members also in the past. So he is just near to you. You can save his life immediately. The second person, like 10 meters away, is a person whom you do not know. After that, there is your wife. And after her, there is your mother. All four are drowning in the flood. But there is only one option for you to save one person's life. Whose life will you save?
Hello. Interview also.
So,
You'll save your mother's life? Okay. Can you justify your answer? If you're going to
Whom you are
save
going to rescue?
mother's life.
Mothers.
Please at the last.
Okay.
So, for me, mother's the like, emotional point of view. Mother is the most precious.
Okay. But what happens if you do not reach to that point? And being a civil servant, if you are emotional in your service, do you think will you be able to serve the society?
It will be biased on many occasions. It will be biased, no? Emotionally, you cannot punish somebody if he commits some mistakes also. Because he is connected to you. He's your relative or your friend. So you will not punish him.
I've saved my enemies. So
Hmm?
together, I've saved my enemies.
But you can save only one person's life at that situation.
So if I save the nearest person, which is
That is a more logical answer, I guess, right?
yes. So together we can save.
Whosoever it is, your enemy or mother or wife or whosoever it is.
Yes.
Because when you are in the service, you cannot be prejudiced or you cannot have some pre-emotion guided by your emotions or love. You have to balance your personal ethics and your professional ethics, right? So I think you should not give an emotional answer in this type of questions. No, sir.
Yes.
Are you nervous, Adwin?
Feeling little bit nervous.
little bit of nervous.
Why?
So that I'm nervous. Yes,
You know me since 2018. We are having a friendly discussion. Sir is also very friendly. Are you afraid of sir?
No, sir. Nervous in the sense I didn't prepare for the sir.
No problem.
So that is
It is about your personality, right? You cannot prepare your personality in a short time.
yes.
You can definitely work on it, but it takes time to change a person's character, traits, right?
Yes.
So you don't have to prepare. Whatever you are, you just be yourself.
You should not talk nonsense. You have to talk in a very sensible way, in a humble way, whereby you have no knowledge. You can say sorry. Sorry is also a good answer. Instead of giving a wrong answer or going for pretension, कि मैं जानता हूँ, मैं जानू. I'm not to establish কৰিব কাৰণে কিবা কিবি unnecessary কিছুমান যুক্তি, argument. So that will damage your whole interview. So be normal, as you said.
Just be yourself. You don't have to take like tension or because they've only already tested your knowledge, right? This is what I'm telling all the candidates. You have passed the main, so you already have the knowledge. So you just need to present your personality, how you interact, how you are able to take a decision. Okay, how good you are in structuring or planning or something.
See, you cannot marry a girl by seeing the photographs or by looking at her profile. You want to meet her personally, no?
Yes.
So this is the same sort of situation. We have to say we have judged you. You are a knowledgeable person. You have answered so many difficult questions. You wrote so well. So it's okay. Your knowledge is tested. But knowledge is not enough to be administrator. You have to handle many situations with your common sense. That's why you have to have a very healthy personality. You should not be biased. That is, as you have said, mother I'll just rescue my mother. She's more precious and all. Mother is everything. So this emotional, you become very emotional. So instead of rescuing the first person, you have rejected him because he's your enemy. That you are biased. You're taking a chance of revenge. At a critical moment of his life, you are just telling him, okay, you are my enemy. Now you see, you are going to die because you have harmed me. Now I'm going to harm you. I can rescue you. So that sort of personality is not required. Okay, that sort of testing is not possible in written answer. Okay, one person can go for pretension in the answer. He can write anything, which is not. Writing skill is enough for to pass out in written exam. You need writing skill. But here we are going to test you who you are actually in person. You got my point, huh? So try to be normal, try to be very humble, polite, decent. So these are some good qualities required and unbiased, unprejudiced. That sort of things are required. Patience. So you have to wait for his question to be completed. There's so many candidates who have no patience to, because he already did know the answer. Without full completion of the question, he started answering. This is not good. You have to listen to people. They may talk nonsense also. Sometimes in the board, somebody talks very nonsense thing, just to test you, how you react. Actually, he's not nonsense. But he's acting as nonsense because just to test you, how you react to a nonsense thing. So this is test of personality, not about your knowledge, about your character. So you are a very nice person. So far your interest is concerned, you play guitar,
Yes.
football, and you are interested in farming.
Yes.
So guitar. I love this instrument.
Yes.
Yeah. Now we don't have a guitar. Right now we don't have a guitar here. Which song you play well in guitar?
So I started playing in church. So,
In church.
so playing style is most inclined to gospel songs.
Gospel song.
Yes.
Okay. And football is your favorite game.
Yes.
You play football.
I still
At which position?
left wing and then left back.
Okay.
Why do you
Why do you prefer that position?
So left back is a defensive, so I can stay in the defense. I can play in the defense line as well. So I can run from the defensive line to the forward line. So that is the left winger. So I can assist. Since I'm left winger, I can assist to the scoring.
Okay.
That's why I like playing in that position.
Why don't you think about a goalkeeper? He's the only person to save you.
Yes.
He can finish the game. He can give you the trophy also.
No, he is as important as 10 players. Everyone in the team is important.
Every player.
Every player.
It's a game of team.
Yes.
Okay. Playing football is very good.
Yes.
It develops the team spirit,
Right.
a mind of team.
Right.
You are not a single person there.
Right.
Everybody has to play,
Yes.
and everybody needs coordination.
Yes.
I like this game, and that's why I'm telling you, it's a good hobby. But you have to answer some technical questions also. The positions, some outstanding games in the world, some outstanding football player, name of the football player, and what good about him, what skill he has, what differentiate him from others. Okay, some legendary persons in football game. You have to know all these things because it relates to your hobby. So you have to know the game technically, and you have to know the history and some football matches and some heroic football players. You should know about it. Few of them who are in news mostly, Ronaldo and all these people. Some people in India also. But why India is lagging behind in football?
Sir, in my opinion, it depends on the interests.
Why Indian people are not interested in this game? It's not a costly game also. You don't like cricket.
I like it.
You not like cricket. Football is cheaper. Okay. Anybody in village also they can play it. So why we are not going for football? So you can think about it. This sort of question will come. Okay. But this is something we don't have a particular answer. You must have an answer. If I ask you a name, you may not know. You can forget. Then you can tell story. But this sort of questions have answer. Always has answer. So you have to answer it. অসমত ভাৰতত ফুটবল কিয় জনপ্ৰিয় নহয়? Why is not popular? Where we are not ahead of us, others. কিয়? সেইটোতো answer এটা থাকিবই লাগিব। নহয় জানো? ভাবিব লাগিব না। You are writing about farming, another very important interest. What sort of farming you like?
So, I do mostly kitchen gardens.
So you have to specifically mention this. Otherwise, farming is a very vast area. There will be a lot of questions. You'll be tired of answering. You have to narrow down. Organic farming, something like that. Okay, you have to be very specific so that your questions will be limited. So you have to make a limit. Otherwise, it will be very big field. Okay. But this is also good interest. All these interests only a good personality can have. So guitar, football, farming, balance. Good. So you know Assamese also. Hindi, English, Nagamis, and Karbi. So you have advantage of two other languages, Nagamis and Karbi. Nagamis means you are out, no?
No, sir.
Tisso.
I learned the Karbi tribes.
Huh?
Karbi tribes.
Karbi? You are Karbi?
Yes.
Or you are not Naga?
No.
Okay.
I'm from Karbi.
Okay. Then Karbi is one advantage for you. Nagamis. Effective communication skills means communication skills. You have effective communication skills. How do you define this?
So there is no.
How you communicate? What are the ways of communication?
How do you make your communication effective?
Effective. How can you know it is effective?
Looking straight in the eye while speaking loudly.
No, you have to judge your communication by asking questions. First, you communicated for certain things. Then you ask him some questions, whether he got it or not, whether he received your communication or not. You are talking on a subject. Okay. You have communicated. You cannot judge. It's also naturally you can judge certain things by looking at eyes and body language. That is okay, but that is not enough. Just to know the depth of his communication, the depth of his receiving your knowledge by asking him some questions. If he answers properly, then you can be sure that okay, he got the subject. He's communicated. Okay. Good. Bhal Rajan.
Adwin, like you have a very good chance to crack. Okay.
Hmm.
Only thing that I am finding is you are a bit low in your confidence as of now. Okay. You know things well. Okay. Even if you do not know, it is not a problem. But your confidence level sounds a bit low as of now. That is something you need to work upon for the next few days. Okay. And do not get emotional, okay, while answering. And I think you need to talk about social forestry, or maybe I asked you about El Nino or La Nina. These are very basic concepts of your subjects only.
And geography.
Geography optional.
Hmm.
So you should be knowing these things. If not like properly, but at least you should have some basic idea, no? Because these are some of the important topics of the syllabus, and also which is very news, right?
News.
So you definitely need to maybe brush up some of the portion of your important portion of your syllabus, and revise it if you have time. But don't take stress. If you do not know, just let them know. Sometimes it can be like this also in an interview. That out of 10 questions, a candidate may not know the first 9 questions, but that candidate may pass the interview just on the basis of the last question that he or she might like answer. Okay, it is all about like that. So don't take stress. Okay, but I think it is important for you to brush up. Okay, and Acha, tell me one thing. Since forestry and geography is coming together, what is the forest land percentage of Assam as of now?
So if I'm not wrong, it's 24.9%.
And what is the target of India?
24.6.
How many districts? 24.6.
No,
I'm not
She's on 34%.
34.
So which state is having the highest forest land in terms of percentage? I don't know where it was.
Madhya Pradesh has largest.
I asked you in terms of percentage. Madhya Pradesh is having the percentage highest or volume highest?
Yes, volume highest.
Volume highest. In terms of percentage?
In terms of percentage, it will be Mizoram.
Okay.
If I'm not wrong.
You are right. You should, again, I tested you this because I asked you in terms of percentage after taking a gap. So you missed that part. So as sir said, you have to first listen what the question is being asked. That is also where your percentage is getting tested. That means you are not paying attention, or you are not having that required level of alertness, which is normally required to become a civil servant. because you have to, in future, you have to handle a district, handle a department, handle a directorate office. So if you are not alert at that top level, if some subordinates of yours do some mischievous things or wrong things under your nose, and if you're not alert, who will be blamed? The department will be blamed, and the head of the department will have to take the responsibility, right? And it is a loss for the state. So your alertness, your paying attention is very important. Again, I'm telling you, as sir also said, like maybe your answer is wrong, okay, but in this question, your one thing got tested, and again you were not paying attention. So these are minor things. Okay, you don't have to take stress again. I'm telling you, you are doing perfectly well. You're doing perfectly well. Just go and give your best with the basic minimum requirements that they're expecting from you. Okay, and that is, because you have already seen so many officers in life, right? So just try to focus, go slow, focus on those things. Okay.
Yes.
Or if you're not sure, you might have just simply said, sir, I'm sorry, I don't know the answer. Okay.
Okay.
But saying Madhya Pradesh means you know, but you are not paying attention. That is why your answer is no. Right? What are the recent wildlife national parks declared for Assam?
Ramona.
Where is it located?
Ramona is located in Kokrajhar district.
Okay.
Then the other one is Gihing Park.
Okay. Which is the largest national park of India? Smallest? No problem. Okay. I think that's it, Adwin. Your hobbies are very good. Okay, as sir said, you need to follow that, limit it down. Because when farming is a so vast topic, they might ask you about the recent farmer protest which was going on in the last 2 years. What is your opinion regarding that? What is your opinion regarding MSP issue? Okay. What is your opinion regarding, can Assam be developed as an organic state as Sikkim has been declared? Can it be declared?
Again, my opinion.
How do you make a farmland organic?
By minimizing the use of
Minimizing. मतलब वहाँ पे fertilizers present हो सकते हैं.
By stopping.
Huh?
By stopping. You have to stop all chemical things. Make it necessary. You cannot minimize. You have to stop it. But that is viable. But that is sustainable.
Is it possible for a state like Assam to make it completely
In
organic?
present context, in present situation, seeing the demand and consumers and our production level and the cost of production of organic things, there are so many things are associated with organic farming. Marketing,
Food
price,
security.
food security, pricing, preserving, and production will be very less. With a lot of time, productivity will go down. Demand will be more and more. So there are a lot of questions are there. Anybody have organic farming?
Farmers,
So those who say, I have a ocean, I do organic farming out of my interest. Okay. But it's so highly cost.
productivity is
It
also
is very expensive. The idea who is a sub procedure, Kiva is a good to bear Kivan, I got to do like it to mind will give away. So this sort of questions should ask you, no? Just understand your fundamental understanding of subjects.
because you
Organic farming, if like all usually to make a article poida. You can mug up and present it, no? But that is not enough for interview. Interview, your originality is tested. Whether you are original thinker or not. When you have to go across some problem or some inquiry, you have to understand the core of the problem. বুজিব না কথাটো গতিকে সেই কিছুমান ল'ৰা এতিয়া মই আলফাত গৈছে আলফাত কেলে গৈছে বুজি আনছা এই মই এইকাৰণে সুধিছোঁ কথাবিলাক তুমি তেনেকৈ জীৱনটো তেনেকৈ বুজিবলৈ শিকিবা সদায় ইট ইজ ৰিকুৱাৰ্ড ফৰ ইণ্টাৰভিউ আৰু ৰিকুৱাৰ্ড ফৰ ইউৰ হোল লাইফ to know the things properly and fundamental basic things আলফাত কেলে গৈছে এটা মানুহ মৰিম বুলি জানে তথাপি কেলে গৈছে
after 75 years of democracy.
You have to find the answer. False answer বিচাৰি লাভ নাই false answer বিচাৰিলে treatment নহ'ব নহয় if you have diabetes am I treating something else তেতিয়া তোমাৰ বেমাৰ বাঢ়িবতো আৰু বেমাৰ আহিব created by me গতিকে বেমাৰটো হৈছে কি the reason আচল ৰিজনটো উলিয়াব লাগিব আমাৰতো এটা এনেই ৰিজন এটা ষ্টাইল আছে যে কেতিয়াবা ৰিজন দুটা ৰিজন হ'ব তিনিটা চাৰিটা দেখিলে বেছি নম্বৰ পাম to get your marks না get high marks আমি ৰিজন দুটা জেগা চাৰিটাও বনাইছোঁ two other reasons are very artificial reason নহয় এইটো আমি নম্বৰ পাবলৈ লিখিছোঁ it is not that ইয়াতো নম্বৰৰ কথা নাই তুমি প্ৰব্লেম সলভ কৰিব লাগিব there is no point of getting marks now your real life and you have to solve the problem to solve the problem you have to know the basic reason anyway he mind to level that mind is required তুমি পাৰিবা তুমি মানে অৰিজিনেল ল'ৰা will be successful তোমাৰ এটা হেৰিও আছে এতিয়া অলৰেডি তোমালোকে পাইছা এইটো ৰিটেনৰটো নম্বৰ আছে তাৰ কাৰণেতো ইণ্টাৰভিউ হ'ব ইণ্টাৰভিউ অলপ ভাল মাৰ্কছ পালে তুমি go through একো পাছ থ্ৰু একো দিগদাৰ নাই
Also, like the question that I asked you, sorry, Kola organic farming. Sikkim is a upstream place, right? Yes. Assam is a downstream place in terms of the stages of a river. So, our soil fertility to ahe kopa nodi pani par pani logot bahut sedimentation soil.
Exactly.
So that the downstream of pollution ho ahi jay, bahut industrial effluents ulai pele that minerals, toxic minerals, pani mix ho ahi pele soil deposition. So that organic possible house that to pani lo is inorganic boost.
So in upper Assam
Sikkim to upward আছে
in upper Assam mama হেতুৱে আছে in upper Assam তুমি নোট কৰি থবা এইটো so in upper Assam তেওঁ পইণ্টটো মই এলাবোৰেট কৰিছোঁ in upper Assam we have so many tea gardens বিলাক বুজা বনাই tea gardens whole concept of কি they need a very effective drainage water accumulation is dangerous for tea so they have to drain out entire water from the tea garden so they have so many network of drainage entire drain finally come to a river so the whole water of coming from tea garden it carries lot of pesticides and other chemicals manure many things সব কথাবিলাক সব নষ্ট হৈ যায় গতিকে এইবিলাক কথা আছে ডাউনষ্ট্ৰীম এটা ভেৰি ইম্পৰ্টেণ্ট ৰিজন সেইকাৰণে এই ক্ৰিটিকেল পইণ্টটো ক'বা নক'বা যে ফাৰ্মিং নহ'ব এইটো নক'বা বাট ইজ এ ভেৰি ক্ৰিটিকেল এৰিয়া ৰিচাৰ্চ ইজ গয়িং অন এবাউট দি ছাষ্টেইনেবিলিটি এইটো ক'লে মানে অনচাৰবিলাক অলপ তেনেকুৱাও হ'ব লাগে ডোণ্ট টেক ইট কিছুমান কথাত ফাইনেল ডিচিশ্যন ল'ব নালাগে it is not finalized no? You cannot read about sector close to the organic farmers also I just only আছে কিবা alternative আৰু কিবা উপায় আছে things are going on যেটা তুমি এটা বস্তুটো ফিক্স কৰিব নোৱাৰা যেবিলাকত তেনেকুৱা আছে
BT crops
keep it open
BT crops ধৰি লওক GM modified crops what is your opinion because you have written farming that is what you can stop it
আৰু ফাৰ্মিংটো তেওঁ ভাল কথাই কৈছে ফাৰ্মিঙত প্ৰশ্ন সুধি ভালো পাব যে মানে বহুত কম ল'ৰাই দিয়ে